Alright guys, welcome back. So today we're gonna do some landscaping, keeping up with the Kardashians or whatever you wanna name it. The reason why is because we won't stagnate our learnings and we keep consistent at what we should be doing. So yeah, if you're interested in that, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you want to see me make a 600 today in 7 years. And yeah, let's see how far we got. So the first thing that I wanna do is actually have the planning and make sure that the planning is okay. So that is what we're gonna do. Okay, I think this is the plan that I no, I had a save. Okay, yeah. These are the things that I need to do. So I'm gonna put that here and I'm gonna put that one here. Also I need to do React router version 7. Okay, give me a second. So we're gonna be here for like a good hour, I think, but not any longer. I need some rest and then tomorrow we can do some heavy stuff because it's a national holiday. But yeah, we don't care about a national holiday, you know. So all right. Let me see where it is. Top React interview challenges. Okay, I got it here. So let's get it. I'm gonna swipe it to another side. Okay, awesome, great, awesome. So let's see where we at. So we want to do the learnings, React 20. So we need a counter, we need to talk a dark mode. Okay, so this filter tab is gonna be the next one. Controlled, uncontrolled input form. That is very important. Search and filter lists. Okay, filtering arrays, managing the input state. Give a list of items, implement a search that filters in real time. Okay. Um, okay. Then this one is not that important. Search and filter live. Okay. Filter tab. Model component. What is this? Create a button that opens a model. Model having close and dismiss button on outside click. Okay. Um, accordion. Accordion. Okay. Model click anywhere. That is something what we should do. The bounced search. Okay. Um, use reducer. Use context. Okay. So these are challenges that we also need to do. Let me see what we also need to do is local storage dark mode. That's something that we need to do often. Um, use state conditional rendering, validation, to-do list. I've totally forgot the to-do list. So where should we do that? I think that the bound search is not that important. I think what we can do here is to-do list. So these are very simple stuff, but these are stuff that they might ask on a yeah, a question. So yeah, these are the things that we definitely should learn. Um, so I'm gonna start this. Give me a second, guys. Can I start this? Rename archive. Uh, Okay. Instead of archiving, let's let's do more advanced question as well. Meteor is custom local storage hook. That is the next one. So here what we're gonna do is Meteor start. Okay, and let's make it bigger so I know where I am. Let's give it a color. Okay, Meteor start and custom local storage hook. That is very important. What we need to do, we also need to do the use toggle. Let me see. Reusable toggle hook. I think that's what something what we're gonna do. Uh, okay, data table with sorting. Very unlikely, but what the hell is this? Okay. Um, awesome. So the next one is going to be memorize components performance, memorize a list. Okay, multi-step form. Multi-step form. I think this one is more important than memorizing. Um, so let's do the memorizing here. I think I'll just save form with debounce. No idea how that works, so let's do that. Then I think memorize a list. We can do that. Okay, awesome. Um, Render prop component tooltip. Okay. Infinite scroll list. Okay. Awesome. Error boundary. We're not gonna do class components to be honest. Dynamic form from JSON. Okay. So these are like real questions. So I'm gonna ask, give me also 10 senior React questions like this. Make sure it is for the front end. Okay. Okay. So let's copy this. I copied this. I'm not sure why it's not copying. And this is going to be senior. Now, are we also gonna do senior start? Like, you never know. You never know what's gonna happen. Oh, okay. So let's do a star. And we're gonna do this like until, I don't know, like 30. Okay. Context plus custom hook. Okay. Awesome. Optimistic UI update. Build a suspense enabled data fetcher. Okay. Render dynamic routes. Custom hook to detect outside click. Okay, accessible model with focus trap. Not sure. I don't know what these are. I'm just doing these. Now, when we these ones are optional, right? And now we're gonna do with Redux. Redux starts here now. Um, we had a plan. Let me see. Hey, how are you doing? I just started. So today what we're gonna do is we're going to make sure that we have everything that we need for the interview questions. So I gathered a lot of questions that they ask, and um, yeah, we're locking them. It's very important because you can learn all these concepts, but if you cannot answer questions, what are we doing, right? Um, so I did decide to do learn some Redux because it's so adopted that we should do that. So that's why I'm doing that. Um, so let me copy this one, create a copy, and this one is going to be libs 20. So libs 20 basically is for questions that they ask for Redux. Okay. 10 junior Redux React questions. I have it on screen here so you can see. How? So what time is it over there now? Okay. Basically, that's what we should do. Okay. The next one, dispatch in action. 2:47 a.m. You're a you're a beast. Like, are you also like programming next to when I'm streaming, or you just relaxing? Like, this is the real deal, right? So, okay, okay. This is a question. Okay, great. Async Redux chunk. I don't know what all these things mean yet, but we will. Um, okay. Alright, so these are just concepts of Redux. Right, let me write it down. Redux. And these are just normal ones, right? Then I also want to have, I think what we should do is, let me think. React simple assignments, React intermediate assignments, React router 7. What is the best thing to do now? We just learned Redux. Let's go to the React page that we had. Give me a second. GitHub. Okay, great. This one. Um, you want the Asia code overview and get hired on your dream company. If you're serious about learning React and want to go beyond the basics. What is this? Redux hooks GraphQL. Okay, so it is a GraphQL. How long is this stuff? Because it looks all good, but 42 hours. That's too much for me. Jesus Christ. Um, Let me see. So we had Redux. Um, Internationalization. I'm not gonna do that now. React router. Okay, I think it's time for a React router. Let's do that. Awesome. Not yet. I want React router version 7 questions. Do DW? I don't know what it means. This is the most active time here. Oh, like in your country? Oh, really? Okay. RR7. Okay, great. For parameters. Okay. Nested routes. Redirects. Loader function. Okay. Params. I don't know what params are yet, but we'll see. Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay. I think that is also 10 questions. So that is the React router. We're not gonna do internationalization. It's not important for now. We can just set it up on the job. So let's go to the next one. So we had internationalization. We had testing. We're not gonna do testing now. Let me see if I see something that I forgot. Let's go to my. I think it's time for GraphQL to be honest. 10 basic GraphQL for front end. Okay. Uh, so we're gonna neutralize this one. The most active hour. That's crazy. So you basically cannot sleep at this hour because people will wake you up or something. GraphQL. Okay. That's crazy. Oh, I almost skipped one. Let me see. Almost done with this one. Okay. Awesome. So these are some GraphQL questions. That is done. Next, what do we have? React Query Assistant, GraphQL, React Basic Concept, use content reducer. simple assignments, intermediate assignments, React 7. Okay, so after these questions, these 13 questions, we're gonna do web dev Cody questions. So web dev Cody is a very good programmer that sometimes does interview questions himself. So let's go to that YouTube for a second. Okay, so we're gonna go to web dev Cody, and we're gonna go here. What was it? How would learn a new code base? Oh, okay. No, it's content. Okay. Web dev Cody, we're gonna go to his playlist. He has many playlists, I assume. So what we're gonna do React. Okay. React interview challenges. Okay. And he has React. So let's do interview for a second. Interview. Okay, so he has 14. Let's see how the playlist looks like. Okay. So I wanna have these titles. So can I do this? There's a different way to filter this, but I'm not going to. Okay. Uh, oh, there was an accident.
Alright,
So basically, I will show you a bit.
how's it going everyone? So I have a beginner level React challenge, and that is going to be building out a whack-a-mole game. Basically, we have a 3x3 grid where these moles will pop up for just a short amount of time, and then they hide. And the goal is, can you as a user, can you click these moles before they hide, like this? And if you do click them, your score increments. And yeah, that's about it. So it looks
It looks simple, but it's not. Why is it not? Well, first, what you have to do is actually make the grid and actually make the mole. And it actually have to come at a certain position, obviously, and it's a random time interval is what you're gonna set. And if you're gonna click on that random time interval, then you increment, else um, nothing happens.
pretty simple from just looking at it. But I would recommend that if you're a beginner, just try doing this yourself. I think you may stress your knowledge with React and effects and timeouts and intervals. It's a really good challenge. So
Oh, you use timeouts and intervals? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, yeah, that makes it more difficult, to be honest. But okay, sure. So these challenges, we also gonna do them. So we have here a lot of Cody. Maybe what I should do instead. Mm, think about it. Yeah, I should create links. Copy link, and I'm gonna say just #1, and we're gonna say a couple of them. How many videos are there? 13 videos. Okay. Okay. That's 13 videos. Actually, I should create them here so I know which one it is. Now, like most of the students sleep in the afternoon and remain up at night, as well as the IT sectors. Why? Can you explain? I don't understand. So, I want to see the order. It's a shuffle. 2 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 1 year ago, 2 years ago. Okay, so it's not necessarily in. Okay, doesn't matter. It's gonna be very mundane today. no like real coding. We're gonna do some job searching though. So yeah, that's the third one, fourth one, four. Okay, let's do five. Okay, copy link. Not sure what happened here. Let's try it again. Okay. I think we are at six. That was six, right? Yeah. Seven, eight. Okay, eight, nine. So this is practical, right? We're gonna do practical stuff. So mm, this is nine, 10. Oh, that didn't go too well. Awesome. 11. Oh, it's still playing? Oh, okay. Come on there. Awesome. So these are certain questions. I think these 43 questions, well, 42 questions will definitely test my skills. Um, so yeah, that is that. We have the lips, right? And as a project, so we're gonna do project. We're gonna make a news article, um, CMS. No, no, let's not do CMS. Let's do nurse article um, page. Okay, great. Um, there's that. So we did that landscaping. So this can go. Let's see what we still need to do. Nothing here. Let's see what we wrote down here. Okay, great. Okay, there's that. Now about the JavaScript one. Should I do some JavaScript challenges? So JS challenges, interview challenges. Let me see what they have.
Hi everyone, welcome to JavaScript coding interview series.
Let me see what this is. Sure, I will just put it as optional. It's not that important. I'm just gonna put it here for now. We'll see what happens. We'll see how far we come. We might already have something like a job or something. And if we don't, then we will continue until we have. Um, so we got the JavaScript done. We have the data structures and algorithms, and we have this page. Um, and tomorrow I'm gonna update where I am, and then we're gonna continue. And now we're gonna do some job searching. So save. Okay. Let's see what they posted, right? We have to balance the time with other countries for IT sectors too. It's almost 40 degrees during the day, so yeah, we prefer night. Ah, I see. Yeah, yeah, that's hard doing that during the day. I totally understand. It's a way of living, to be honest. Yeah, we don't have that here. Yeah, we don't have that here. So basically, you are like awake till 5 or something, and then you go to bed for a bit. Then in the morning, you're gonna do some studying. Then you're gonna sleep, and then that's basically what you're doing. Like you're going to sleep in the afternoon, and then late at night you're gonna do some studying again. Or how does your daily routine look like? Or awesome. So let's see what happened here. Let's check out the front page first. Are there any new jobs on the front page? Okay. I don't see any new ones though. Like I see many, but they are not anywhere close. So not really, right? That's never a good sign. If your front page is not with any new job, usually there are no real new jobs added. So that is a bad sign. But we'll see. Let's see what happening here. Um, Doctor, full engineer. Like some of them are not even close. So okay, web developer support, senior front end developer. Okay, that's not good news. Why not LinkedIn? Very good question. I will answer it in the chat. LinkedIn has a one job to thousand applicants ratio, whereas Indeed has 1 to 250. So hopefully that makes sense, right? Less people want to look, they just want to apply and call it a day. So that's why. Okay, so the first thing what we're gonna do, we're just gonna put the keyword HTML, and it says like vacancies we haven't seen yet. So let's see if we see something. I definitely saw that. Okay. 2 years of experience. We did see that as well. Okay. So we're gonna remove that one and we're gonna do date and let's see what they have. Well, if that is date, then okay, yeah, it's date. But then let me see. Front-end developer, commerce, store manager, WordPress developer, email marketing, design system manager, front-end developer. We already went here. We're just checking it out. I'm seeing a lot of old stuff, so it's not a good sign. It seems like this week there are not a lot of new jobs. This week has been bad. What is your current qualification level? What do you mean by that, sir? Could you explain, Andre? do WordPress. Backend WordPress developer. This is designing. Okay, it doesn't look good. All right, let's do on date. Let's see. Doesn't look good. Nope. Doesn't look anything good. I don't see any new job applications. I think I already clicked this one before, but let's check anyways. Angular, 3 years of experience, and I mean, what is your level of knowledge? Well, level of knowledge is middle, but I've been a freelancer, so according to the jobs, I am a junior, but I am a meteor. And now, um, yeah, let me see what this is. I think it's fake. It's a click out media. Yeah, let's not do that. Looks scammy. If I think it looks scammy, it's probably real. Like what did they pay? 33 days? What's this? 33 paid 3 days. Oh, you're making like clickbait stuff. Yeah. No, let's not do that. What is your level, Andre? Do you have a specific level? Are you a developer? Let's see. This poorly written. I'm not a social media manager, to be honest. It's not my niche. All right. Mm, no, we already seen those ones. Okay. Let's try something new. Let's try front. Okay. Nothing, right? Lead front end. Well, I'm not a lead, so. Also, the salary indication of a lead is very bad. I guess I'm senior, 8 years of experience. I mean, oh, that's amazing, man. That's awesome. Are you how do you call it? Like a specific framework that you use on the job, or like what exactly are you doing? Because 8 year senior in something or in everything, like what does that mean, right? Just out of curiosity, you don't have to answer, right? Like everyone is free to remain silent here, so no pressure. Awesome. Okay, doesn't look good. Let's do CSS, right? Like we're just keywording. Ah, doesn't look good. What is this? Ah, okay. Nope, I can do whatever. From back, React Angular. Ah, you're this full stack development guy. That's amazing. Yeah, I can also do whatever, but not backend. But I can do like React, Angular, Next.js. Well, I can do full stack frameworks, but it's usually front end. So I made different kinds of projects, right? So like Next.js, SWOT kit, those kinds of stuff. We do everything because freelancers do everything, right? So we don't judge, we make, we create. So um, yeah, okay, that doesn't look good, guys. The job market this week is not good. And this is in my country, right? I'm not sure what the country you are from, Andre, but my country this week doesn't look good. And like there's some, but they're too far, right? So Magneto, mm, nothing, too far. Oh, should I translate it? Let me give you a sec. You're gonna be shocked how many people you make here per month. And this is considered meteor. So this is meteor. Let me see. At least 2 years of experience. And this is you won't earn anything more than 6 to 7k. 7k. I don't know any developer that makes this in my country because we have skills. So let me explain that. I'm not sure if you maybe I'm wrong, right? But according to my research, a junior makes between 25 let me see. I think 2400 to 3200 and a meteor makes like 3200 to 4200 and a senior makes between 4200 and 5200 because why is this? Yes, this is before taxes. So before tax. So before tax. Um, Now why is this? Now because we have this mm, third party community, like community or like some kind of not necessarily legislation, but like a party. We have this third party that says this is the marked conform, right? This is the marked conform. So anything above this look, so if you want to do 5200 and above, that means you have to work for a international company, international, or you have to work for a uh, or you have to go outside of country, or be be an expat in my country. Gonzalo Suarez, welcome. Yes, I have been to school. I did computer science. And what do you have after tax? Well, that depends. Because it's scaling. So after tax, this one will be approximately like 3k, maybe 3 shy. Okay. This one will probably be like 2700, and this one, like I'm doing the total max, right? And this one is probably gonna be more like 2500 because we have progressive scaling. So pro progressive progressive tax. Yeah, that's little, right? That's little. Here, here is one third of that. Damn. Yeah. Oh, you're starting in View University. I went there. I went there, Gonzalo. I went to few Vrije Universiteit, so View University. This is where I did my computer science. I don't recommend it, by the way. Unless you're young. Like, if you're like 18, 19, 20, then do this. Else, don't do this. Right? Like, of course, don't listen to me, but Um, reason why I'm saying don't listen to me because I have other goals. This channel is about making 600 in 7 years, but at the moment we are switching jobs. But later on we gotta go solo. Now, one of the things, how can I get out of this? I think like this above is not much money. This is not much money. Like, I can not buy a house even when I am a senior. I cannot buy a house from the salary because the houses here starts 450, like 450K. This is a house, and this is like 70 square meters, right? 70 square meters, between 50 and 30 square meters, or rural, maybe 150 square meters. Square meters. In my country, why is feel bad? I'm 22. I'm going to feel. Should I consider my options? If you're 22, you should not consider your options. In my country, I work for a company, and the difference between gross and net salary is 9%. Andre, can I ask where you're from? Where are you currently working? Gonzalo. So this is totally fine. It's a very good university. It has a lot of credits, right? Um, it's amazing. I had one of these teachers. This was one of my teachers. Uh, Serbia. So, can I ask you, sir, Andrea, um, how much do you make um, market conform? Are you above? Are you middle? Are you below as a senior? And can you buy a house with your salary? Like, let's assume you save for like 3 to 4 years. Like, would you be able to buy a home, like on lease, right? Like on mortgage. So, Gonzalo, I think I should completely answer my question. So, why should you study when you are this age where you are right now and not like my age? Well, the first of all, my age, you don't have time to study 4 years. 4 years is a lot. Like 4 years? 4 years? Let's assume you start, right? Let's assume you get a job at the same time you started 4 years. 25 times 12 times 12 times 12 plus 12. This is going to be your salary, right? This is a lot of money that you're leaving on the table. And the reason why I'm saying that because software development is one of those jobs that you don't necessarily need a degree, but you need experience. And you're gonna see that. Let me see if I can find something. Some ask, some don't. Let me see. Here, they don't ask for a diploma. Yeah, 5 years experience. Let me see. Is that appropriate? That's definitely not appropriate. 5 years for 4 or 5K. That's definitely not appropriate. I won't apply. A senior won't apply to this job, I think, unless you're very hungry. So yeah, let me see what this is all about. So here we're looking for no, no like bachelors, right? Nothing. Couldn't you get that experience from internships? Yes. So in the Netherlands, we have certain companies. These are not boot camps, by the way. There's certain companies, and they're basically honey trap. Like I call it honey trap because they they educate you, right? Like they educate you and give you internship, but the first 3 years they take like 50% of your money, and you work like hell. So If you're very desperate, we have certain companies that will do that. And if you can stand the if you can stand the rain, you can do that. Now we also have something called Codum. You can look it up, right? Codum. It's like a kind of a boot camp or a coding college, that's a call them. And this boot camp, you can just apply every month, like Codum, every month, and you do a test. And if you succeed the test, you get a free scholarship. Ship, you get a free scholarship, but not for free, like not for free, but for them, from them. I think I'm a little below IT market right now, but I have a family, wife, a small daughter, and only me is working. Oh, that's totally fine. If you can manage to get by while having a family, and you can still work and somewhat have your, things going on, this is not possible here. If you earn between 3 and 5K, you can you can like maybe take care of one person. Take care one person. Like, and that has to be like more than 4K. Like more than 4K. You can take care of one person, but you cannot buy a house because you cannot save. You cannot save. Now why? Because if you're going to rent a place, that will cost you between 1,500 and 3,000 euros a month, depending on where you want to live. But there's one catch here. 1,500 rent is rural, but traveling will get close to a rent, like 700. So this will be 2,300, 2,700 added with the travel cost. So, Andrea, are you yeah, yeah, the rent is pretty cheap. Yeah, that was my question. Like, are you gonna buy for a house or are you gonna buy a house or couldn't you get experience for internship? This is super valuable for me, by the way. Thanks so much, man. Yeah, you can ask questions now. Like I'm here, so we're a bit we're doing some job searching, so I have time for questions. Ask them now because I might change my mind later. So because I don't like few, but that's because of personal reasons. Don't get me started. So um so what we're gonna do? Let me get another keyword. So let's do CMS. I already bought my own flat here. Oh, that's amazing. I, it's not possible here. You wanna see the market? I'm gonna show you the market here. It's called. This is a website. Right? This is not the website, but it's a website. So let's see some homes. So these are sponsored homes. Um, so let's see what you get here. This is 20 minutes from the capital city. 120 square meters. There's probably 3 floors. Yeah, like 160 square meters and 3 bedrooms. Almost a million. And the thing is, people have this kind of money because they buy together, right? What about not a house but an apartment? Okay, let's go to an apartment, right? Just go to Amsterdam, right? Because people want to buy in a capital city apartment. Um, apartment, Amsterdam. Yeah, what the fuck? Yeah, right. Dirt floor. How about that? Dirt floor. This is in West. This is pretty. It's not too central, but it is just above the ring. So this is the place. This is what you get. Oh, with the terrace on your roof. But 90 square meters, two bedrooms, 800K. Oh boy. Okay. Let me see if there's a balcony. So the price per square meter is almost 10K. That's crazy. You shouldn't buy this. Let me see how much a month this could be. They're not having it, but I assume a month this would be probably. So there's a chance that you could give me some advice for something to do during my studies right now. I'm doing boot.dev and I'm learning a lot about backend. Oh, sorry, you cannot post links. I'm sorry about that. And let me actually switch it to live chat. I probably missed some messages of you guys. Um, boot dev. Learn backend development the smart way. Okay, so what is this? Oh, this is like the game? Um, wait, I've seen this before. I think I've seen this before. Let's see the pricing. That's very reasonable. That's very reasonable. And do they give you like a certificate or like a diploma or anything, by the way, Gonzalo? I just want to know because that's very good. I've been working as a postdoc. I've seen getting my feet. Took a job. Senior dev, boot dev, codewithme my first job. Oh, awesome. I took 102 square meters in a seventh floor house with an underground parking for 460K. And this is not a cheap one. Okay, so it's like real luxury kind of stuff, Andre. Here it's like 200K, 300K in the capital city for 3 floors? Is that what you mean, Sapan? Okay, but this is very expensive. You should not buy this. Let me see. This is one of the busiest streets. It's called the Overtone. It's 400K for 40 square meters. 40 square meters. Oh no. 40 square meters. And they asked 10K per square meter. Gonzalo, to be honest, if you do this and you go to few universities, you will have an easier time to get on. And this is something I made a mistake in. I went in and they told me like, well, if you don't know programming, it's not an issue. You'll learn it here. Uh-uh. That is not true. Um, it's like 200K, 300K in capital CB for a bedroom. So it's like this. It's like this apartment, like the 40 square meters. Now, Gosala, I want to listen carefully because I made a mistake in this university. So I don't know what this is. Oh, okay. This is like the mistake I made on the computer science. First of all, I told you what it is, right? Going in blind. The second mistake that I did not do is not look at the curriculum. So the first curriculum, these are the chapters that you're going to get. Let me see if they changed something. Computer programming, English language, data structures, algorithm, persuasive computing, computer organizations, computer networking. Okay, so there's something missing. I miss logic. Oh, okay, logic sets is here. Networking is here. Okay, No. Okay. The first thing that you need to know is that they are using C++. So make sure that you already know the syntax of C++. That's the first thing. Very important. Very important. The second thing that you need to know is data structures and algorithms. You're going to get it here at the computer programming, the data structures and algorithms, but you need to know them because every week they expect you to already know 10 concepts and just make an assignment. And that is really hard. So that is a huge mistake that I made. That's because I failed this class. And some people did it with flying colors because they had experience. So make sure no C++ syntax and go do some data structures and algorithms. Go to lead code or something. Like even if you do the easy ones, it doesn't matter. Just do the easy ones, right? Like that lead code top 50 C++. I don't know, something like that. Lead code top 50 here. Just make these questions. Just make these questions, then go to the school. You will have an easy time. The third thing that you need to know about the first year is one of these programs has a certain postdoctor that is giving computer organization or system architecture. It's also called. So system architecture basically means that you're going to work with actual bits and signals. And one of the things that you do, here's going to give you gamification. So gamification, I'm not sure if you have heard of it, or maybe even the boot.dev is already doing that. Gamification is a way of trying to motivate people in a way form of games and points and those kinds of stuff. Now I hate that, but I cannot be motivated by that. But that's something that you should know that this is the way they do stuff on that course. And also that course, something to keep in mind is that they're gonna give you assembly. So make sure that you know the basics of assembly. So C++, make some data structures and algorithms, make sure you know a bit of assembly. Then you're good to go. Okay, let me read. 3 bedrooms, hall, and kitchen. Oh, that's huge for that kind of money, but I'm not sure what the medium salary is, Subhan. I don't know. Like, it depends. The medium salary here is like 3K, 3.5K. Okay, let's check the next building. So this is in a ghetto, 126 square meters for 4 bedrooms, 450K. That's still expensive for the ghetto. Okay, really big downside. Surface cost is 353. Not including gas, light, and water. Oh, that's really bad. So on top of your monthly salary, so let's assume 450K. Well, I think you will pay maybe 2,300 in the beginning. Like it depends on the mortgage. So 2,300 mortgage plus 50, 253 plus gas, water, light. So that's very expensive for a ghetto. Now this building is probably fine. Probably did a great job, right? Like it looks awesome. But I know this location is a ghetto, so yeah, no worries, Gonzalo. But if you don't worry about it, if you're doing back end, to be honest, what I also should have done, if I know the back end and I have the certificate, I will go to school and I will start applying for jobs, like internships already. And you're just gonna tell them like, hey, I have this experience. You show them your projects, and you would say like, hey, I wanna do this, right? You wanna internships because these internship during school, and if you know these stuff, the structure, algorithm, gamification, those kinds of stuff, so then an average of school time is gonna take you like 25 hours a week, depending on the season, right? Trimester. So sometimes it's 30 hours. And you're gonna ask the internship like, hey, um, 10 to 12 hours a week. They do this here, and they will give you like money as well. They will give you like 400 euro a month. So you don't have to have a part-time job as well. You can say to the government, because if you're gonna come here, the government expects you to probably have a part-time job with certain rules. You're gonna go to uh, um, set this as a job, set as a job, and then you're gonna say this is your part-time job. So that is a problem solved. That's what you're gonna do. If you want to be a front-end developer, just learn it yourself. Kinda, kinda. So we had a time between like 2018, between 2022, somewhere between that. Like you could just go in front-end development. Now they all want 2025. They say like, hey man, where's your experience? Like like market's short. Well, we are in a AI recession. Also, Gonzalo, why should you get an internship when you are here? Well, also a reason why is because you're locked in. Like you're locked in. You're already locked in. Don't worry about AI. And what students now say like, to the students now to say like, oh my God, AI, am I going to get a job? Right? Am I going to get a job? Well, 4 years is a long time. Or 3, 4 years is a long time. Things change significantly. So that's why get that internship as well. And be more brutal about these internships. Some says no, you need to do 40 hours and those kind of stuff. You just tell them like, hey man, I already have this. I already have the applications. I made some progress. I have the certificate. You know, I have 25, 30 hours of school, but I still have time. You know, still have time like 10, 15 hours a week. I really want to work at your place, right? Just apply. Okay. Um, Let me see. 1 square meter for 460K. Is this in euros, Andre? I have an accountant audit degree. Oh, so you like re-entered another industry? So you started in 2016. So you started with if you're a full stack developer, you started with like jQuery and stuff, or did you start with classes React or Angular? What did you start up with? Yeah, I thought about it. I love to code, so fuck it. Yeah, bro, you need to go to the university because that is your safety net, right? Like you never know what happens. What's happening on the industry. But don't let these students, if you're gonna go there, fool you about the scarcity. Not the scarcity, but like the anxious mindset, right? Like, oh my god, I'm gonna get a job, right? You're gonna get the job. Don't worry about it. Let me see. They have their own CMS. Oh, it's for a recruitment website? CMS for recruitments? Yeah. It's never good to isolate like that. Let me translate it so you guys can read as well. Awesome. Let's see. Let me see. Junior content. Yeah, the job market is not really great this month. What do you want? See? Oh, ASP.NET. Okay. Like so, this is a international company, and international companies pay you more. It's what market is. Okay. Awesome. Okay, that doesn't look too good. Let's check some more homes. And would I need Dutch? I'm already starting, but it might take time. There are enough companies that don't require Dutch. They're some gonna say like they really want Dutch, but that's only because of the social, you know? They want they want that. It's a thing here. But don't worry about it too much. There are enough companies that say like, hey, fuck it, you know? Amsterdam is one of those cities. It's just international. They can like fuck off, right? Don't be afraid. Let me see. I don't even know where this is. Okay, it's very expensive. Wow. Let me see where this is. Oh, this is one of the yeah, this is one of the most expensive neighborhoods. But their asking price is lower than the other ones. Almost 1 million for 109 square meters and 3 bedrooms. I would never do this. I really want to learn because I think important of an integration. Um, are you planning to stay here? That's the question. Are you planning to stay here? Don't invest in something you're not gonna stay. It doesn't make any sense. See, 3 bedroom, 800K. This is lower than expected, to be honest. Well, it's third floor though, and someone already did a bid. That's crazy. I would never because here, this specific place here is very crowded. So, ugh, I cannot stand these kinds of prices, man. I don't understand why they do this. Like, I'm very lucky. I have a rent for like 600 and I can stay here permanently. So, well, I'm from Portugal and I'm not sure if I can think of a better place. I'm really spending some years there. So I think it will be a great chance of staying. Okay, so you want to stay here in the Netherlands. Well, then it's worth investing, right? But even if you don't invest, there is a big international bubble, especially at universities, which is what is English based. So don't worry about it too much. Don't worry. I get why you're thinking ahead about learning this language, but to be honest, in Amsterdam, I think I speak more English than Dutch. So now you know. Okay. Ah, horrible website. Okay, now we know that. We did the job searching. We did Yeah, we did the stuff. There's something else I needed to do. Give me a second. Um, I needed to do. Oh yeah, Sipam. The first question that I have, 200 and 300K, and that's in a capital city, or wait, no, that's in a, oh yeah, in a capital city. What is the average salary in a capital city where you live? And also, Gonzalo, are you from Lisbon or Porto? Just check. Job market does not look good. Oh yeah, I remember. What we should do is like 650. I've been to Lisbon 3 times. I really love that place. But what I've noticed about this place is a lot of poverty, which is very surprising because there are many people. It looks like many people are investing money over there, but apparently not. I also love the metro station in the mountain. It's amazing. It's and there what is not amazing. There's a lot of pickpockets though. That's very unfortunate. But like 650. 650. What do you mean by that? 5 years for 4 or 5K. Then I think they're advertise. Oh, they're new. Nah, they've probably been advertising for a while. You're not gonna get someone. So what is my plan? Maybe you should be curious. So I'm a Dutch citizen, right? So Gonzalo, so pay very much attention. I'm Dutch. So if you come here, like if you're from PT and you come here to work, right? Not to study, to work, then you're an expat. An expat, when good job, is 30% extra salary. But for me, if I'm here and to work, I get salary. So you will earn more. You will earn more. Now, how would you do that when you're done studying, go back to PT, like maybe 1 or 2 years, then apply to Dutch jobs, then come back. Because there's like a certain part when you come here and then yeah, like 650 euro a month. Nah, you, a, so you're saying that 200 300K for a mortgage. And okay, so what is a one bedroom then? What is a one bedroom? I'm very curious. So what is that? How much? How much? 650 euro a month. Okay, Supam, I want you to pay attention. So if you're from India, right? So if you get an IT job, save money, then what you're gonna do? You're gonna start an LLC in the USA. Okay? And save money, you actually need like maybe between 20 and 30K. It's a lot. Start an LLC in the USA, apply to USA jobs, and when hired, you're gonna say, hey, I am contractor, just put salary over there. I take care of the rest. So what you're doing, you're competing with USA. You get USA money, so USA money is very good. And you can stay in your country. Now, what are the downsides? The downside is time zone, right? And the downside is you can only apply to remote jobs. Just because you have a USA job doesn't mean visa. So that does not mean absolutely fucking not. But there's a way that you can earn money from there. So this is my exact plan. I am going to do this. Now, why I'm going to do this, and obviously saving money like this is easier because, like we said, in the Netherlands, for me, not for Gonzalo, because Gonzalo six k earning 6k plus 30%, right? That's good money for PT. But for Dutch, no, right? Not a big deal. USA money can be between 70k all the way to 140k. If you're doing moderate, this is moderate, right? Moderate well. If you only want to have a job. Now, obviously, you have some tax, right? Like this is before tax. You need a lawyer, and you need a accountant. So probably you're gonna be left off with like 100k ish, 100k ish, and that money you're gonna send to home, or pay USA tax. So you either or. There's no either or. And then after tax, depending on in my country, I need to pay 50k tax. It's a lot, but I will have 50k left. Right? 50k left. But this significantly does earn more. This earn more. Now I'm being brutal here, right? Before tax, lawyer, accountish. I could also say like maybe the accountant doesn't cost as much, so I will earn 70k. Now 70k is a lot of money in the Netherlands. Let me read. That's crazy bunny mo. In Portugal, they're devs making 2k after 5 years. Yes, but there's one difference. If people from Brazil come to Portugal, they earn more than 2k. Why? Because they are an expat. Hey, they're an expat. So every country has this, right? Every country has some tax deduction, right? Deduction, deduction for expats, right? And that Brazilian guy probably will work at at a major company like a bank, right, or accountancy or enterprise, whatever, right? But someone the same from Portugal, which is like, haha, here's 2k. So, so yeah, now you know. That's what people do here because they don't earn much here. They work like in the USA, like this example that I give you from India. Crazy. Did you do masters? No, absolutely skip masters, unless you want to work at a specific enterprise and do specific things. So if you want to work at Fang, right, then yes, but not immediately. Not immediately. Why? Because people from USA will go first. People from USA go first. Then then you come. So just because you did a master's or a PhD doesn't mean you're gonna earn more money. People think that. Um, Usually when you have a bachelor, you need work experience, then master. But then you need to go back to school, and if you're going to back to school to do a master, you lose money, and you're 22. Like you're 22. Now, you can still make a lot of mistakes, but imagine if you're gonna do 3 years of school, right? 3 years of school, and you're gonna say do an internship, like the first year, um, maybe some freelance, second year, and third year a minor plus plus already a job. So let's just do some money, right? Let's do some money. So let's see what a backend developer um, back. I see now. So you guys work in the USA to get money from there to your country. Oh, that's smart. Okay, so let's see a normal backend developer. This is a starting price of backend developer, 2,500. Okay, so let's assume your internship is gonna be 400 a month, and you start maybe like 3 4 months in a year, so you have about 400 times 7, so you earn 2,100 that year. Yeah, plus experience. That's a lot. So let's write it down, 2,100. Second year, you're gonna do some freelancing. Let's assume you earn the same amount. Okay, so 2,000. Well, you already have like right 4,100. And the third year, you're gonna do also an internship, obviously, and you're gonna do a full-time internship, and the full-time internship pay like 900. So 900 times 6, right? So this is what you should do. Plus, maybe you're gonna work already a job, so you're gonna maybe do 3 months, like 3 months of 2,500, right? So these are things that you can earn. Let me see. Let's do some calculations. 4,100, 7,500. Okay. And this is not net, right? This is before tax. Let me see. Not this. Okay, 55. I think this is the amount. So this you're already earning money if you're going for an internship the first year. So in those 3 years, you can earn this money. No student makes this. Well, some students, but right, you can earn 70K. And 70K could be your scholarship, your school, right? So you will net maybe zero. That's okay, but now you have 3 years of experience, and that means 3 years of experience. Let's see a backend. You're at 4K salary, 4K in the Netherlands. That is if you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna go for an internship the first year already. Or you can even do better. You could say, fuck it, right? Fuck it. You're gonna say, on school, you're gonna find a part-time backend or maybe freelance. It depends. Like let's assume you find a job, right? Part-time. Well, part-time 2,500. Let's assume you're gonna do maybe half of that. So you have this one times the first year. So let's do that. I don't want to calculate in my head right now. I'm very tired. 50K. Now you're gonna scale obviously if you're gonna do part time. So the next year you're probably gonna earn like maybe like 1600, right? Times 12, right? If you work all year, right? So you know that times 12, you can do the math, right? And earn 90.2K. And the last year you have to do an internship, so you have to take a pay cut, so you have to leave this job, or you're gonna be on leave for a while because you have 6 months of internship, right? You have a minor, so the minor is gonna be this one, right? So that's 45. Did I do it right? The calculation? Yeah, 500. Okay, 504K, and the last 6 months you're gonna be like maybe at, if you're gonna find a job, let's assume you do nothing. Let's assume you do nothing, right? The last year because you have to write a right? Um, what do you call it again? You have to write some bullshit. Did I? No, I didn't do it right. Give me a second. So you can earn this amount, bro. You can earn this amount. You can earn 40K while in school. Because why? Because you did this back end stuff. You did this like boot.dev. That's why. Thesis, yes, thesis is what's the look for it. It's called different in Dutch. It's called scriptie. So like making a script, right? Okay. So you can earn this amount of money. Now, if you're gonna be like super fuck you, like super fuck you, you're gonna say fuck it. School is easy, right? I'm gonna just do like a 32-hour job. Well, I get 32-hour job. So approximately like 1800 times 12. Right? Let's do the calculation immediately. Like I don't recommend this route unless you are like very sure, right? This one, the second year, you're gonna obviously go up in salary. Let's assume you go up in salary. This one, right? I'm gonna be very sketchy here. It's probably 4200, I think. Let's check. 2400. Yeah, 2400. Right? And obviously you need to do the 5100 because of the minor, right? And you're gonna do nothing. This is the money you can earn as well. So it really depends on you, right? That's what I want to say. 50K. Um, that depends on the lecture. There's some things we don't necessarily have super attendance, but they be like, "Hey man, you weren't here," so they're inclined to give you, yeah, they're petty. Let's put it that way. They're petty. So you can earn these amounts. You could say, right? You can earn like 70K, right? 70K if you're gonna do it slow with some internships. You're gonna say, like, just fuck it. Try to find a part-time job. This is the hardest one. Why is this hard? Because you part-time jobs are scarce. Part-time is scarce. And this one is super fuck you, right? Like 24 as long as 40 hours, uh, 32, 40 hours. 40 hours is more, right? So 32 hours plus, I don't know, like 30 hours school. It's 60 hours a week, but you earn 51K in 3 years doing school. If you finish the boot.dev, right? So you need to finish the stuff. Okay? So it's on you, right? It's on you. Like how desperate are you? I should say. Desperate is also like a negative confrontation. Like people see it as bad, but I don't see it as bad. How desperate, how fast do you want to succeed, right? That's on you. Don't see much like you see money, people feel pressured to do this. Don't feel pressured. Maybe you're just gonna say, fuck it, just like just school, right? Just school, and that's okay. You're gonna like 3 years. I don't recommend. Why not? Um, because 3 years, a lot of things change. So let's assume you finish the boot of dev, you go to school, and you kind of forget what happened, right? For the boot of dev, and then you need to relearn it, and but backend changed, things changed. So you also need to update, right? Update, and that's gonna probably take you like 3.5 years. No, not like extra plus extra half year, I should say. Yeah. And then you need to get a job. Get a job, which is in June. What is in June, July, meaning everyone is applying. Okay. But don't be like oh this is a bad route. This is not a bad route. Most students do this. 80% of students do this. But there are 20% of them, and even like one percenters, like the one percenters have a full-time job, like full-time. They don't tell you. They are probably like 26 years old, and they already have a family, have a family, but they need a certificate for more money because their country asks for this. Right? Like you earn more money if you can show your like bachelor, right? Bachelor. So that's why. So the one percenters, they don't even talk. They're just present in the lecture. They're not even paying attention. They have good grades. They don't talk to anyone. You have these people. Then you have the 20%. They have a job and they don't. They are here. They're present and they're not braggy, but they're there. And 80% have probably like a part-time, like a food retail job or no job. So everything is entirely on you. But these are just routes, right? They're more routes. It really depends who you meet, what you want. There are a lot of opportunities here. So make sure that if you come here to, get the opportunity, right? So so yeah, hopefully that was very important. So this is what I would have done if I knew, right? I only knew in my third year that these motherfuckers, the 20% and the 1% exist. Yes, you can get a job without a bachelor's here. I showed you actually. Let's see here. 2 years of experience. Let me see. WordPress developer. What they're asking. Here, no requirement of a diplomat. Okay. Let's see. This probably does ask for it. Let's see. Nope. Doesn't ask for a bachelor's. Now there are some jobs that do. Let me see. Here's nothing. Let me see. Maybe this job. But you see, it's not a requirement anymore because also in the USA they realize students students is not equal to good employee, good experience. They need people that they come in, they know how to do the job, they have a certain personality, they can communicate. They're not looking for code monkeys, so no code monkeys. They're not looking for code monkeys anymore. Why? Because ChatGPT is a code monkey. Not identical. Code monkey. Equal, not identical. Right? They're not looking for this anymore. Now, some companies do. Don't get me wrong. There's still companies out there that do, but the world is changing, and that's why if you're young, if you're like 18, between 18 and 25, you should like yeah, go get a bachelor, get bachelor, but work. You need work. Even Subham, even when I'm talking to you here, bachelor's is almost compulsory, except Fang or other big companies. Yes. So what you should do in India is different. In Germany, no bachelor, no job. Very simple. Some countries are like this, and India is one of these countries. Like I'm not gonna say that I'm an expert in anything like that. They're very good at logic, so that's why they also want a certificates because you know it's like a lottery over there. You have many people competing at the same job. So what you should do, you should like freelance, right? If you're from India, just freelance. Just freelance with your experience, build projects. Then you have experience. When you have the job, or when you have the bachelor's, you can immediately move on. So for you, Sapam, the rules are different. The cards are different from Gonzalo because Gonzalo is in Europe, right? He has better hands. It's the truth. Well, it's a relative truth, right? I should say relative truth. It's not the truth. So that's why. Let me see if this job asks for doesn't no doesn't ask for a bachelor's. No, no, don't worry, Gonzalo. I'm always here to help. Right? Don't worry about stuff. So let me talk about my situation. Right? My situation. I got a bachelor's. Right? I have a bachelor's. But bachelor's does not equal a job. Because why? Because NL says experience. Where is your experience? Well, that's why I said okay, freelance, experience, job, and then I'm gonna go on my own. Like I'm gonna start a business. Start because my situation is like 600 a day within 7 years, right? I'm not gonna stay in a job, right? That's my situation. You need experience here. They don't necessarily care about this anymore, but it's a catch 22, right? Catch 22 basically means you need one for the other. So need bachelor for experience. Now, what is my situation? So I started studying at 28. Okay, started studying at 28, finished at 31, took took a gap year, and now programming. Okay, freelancing, and now I'm applying. That is my situation. Basically, that is. Now, why did I started studying 28? You're like, why do you do that? That's against the advice of what you did. Now, the reason why, because if you're 28, your experience and school do not get along. They do not get along. These are not like unless you're a specific person. It's like you have a bad manager, right? You have a bad manager just just saying stuff that you don't want to do. It makes you angry, those kinds of stuff. You get a certain ego when you are above a certain age. So yeah. here employment is very high, so they sort people on basis of higher degrees. Yes, that makes very much sense. That makes so much sense. So what you should do in a situation, like I said, you go to university, but you're also gonna freelance sometimes, right? On maybe Fiverr or those kind of stuff. And then you also have experience when you're finishing the job, and then you get a job sooner. That's what you should do. Yeah, it's like a bad manager. But that you only realize this when you are at that age. Now, some people like if you like let's say Andre, yeah? Andre is a full stack, right? He was a full stack senior. But let's assume he does not have a bachelor, but his country says bachelor is equal to more money. Okay? Well, if that is true, then he should go save money, go to Few, for example, which is my university here, and then he's gonna be like working and studying, right? For and it comes easy because experience. Oh, maybe I should actually mention this, Gonzalo. So, programming is not computer science. Okay? What is computer science? It is the science of everything related with computers. So you learn theoretical, how things work under the hood, and sometimes program them. This is very important. This is the distinction. If you expect to go to computer science and say we're gonna program, we are programming, no, no, you are not programming. You are studying the field of computers. Okay, let me be very clear on that. It's fun. It's very fun because you learn things on the hood. You learn, for example, how databases work under the hood, right? And you learn that with sets theory, and also with statistics. Statistics, you learn how LLMs, so AI, works under the hood. So you have a foundation. Or um, if you are more interested in low coding, like lower kind of coding, let's assume you are interested in um, making kernels. So a kernel is basically a specific isolation in a computer where the most vital programming is for maybe an operation system like Windows or Linux or those kind of stuff. Making a kernel, right? You, making kernel, well, you can you can code this with I think .NET, or you can code this with C++ or Rust. So these are programming languages, right? Maybe even Python, if you are feeling lucky. C, right? Java even, Java. The multiple languages. But then you learn under the hood how it works. You're not learning programming. Let me make that really clear. This is what most students fail upon. They go to the studying and like, oh, I don't like this because it's a lot of, it's like making homework. Yeah, you're making homework. And that's why above 25, so above 25, Don't go. Learn online and apply to jobs. Now, it it doesn't, it's not like, not only like specific countries, right? But for example, Subham said in India this is not the case. No bachelors, no job. 30% programming, 50% computer science, and 20% math stuff. I don't know why I'm studying it. Yes, so like I said, when we went to the let me see where we had it. Give me a second. So when we were at the curriculum here, so we're the curriculum. So this one is programming. This one is programming. This one is a little bit HTML, CSS. So like maybe something like this, some text and some styling. But it's not really like a programming language. You're not doing really JavaScript. And the next one is a project. So you need to do some programming here. So you have three courses that does programming. And yeah, there are some courses they do have like one programming project, but that's like a 2 hour project. You're not really learning something. So I'm being very clear here. You're not learning to program here. You're learning everything about computers. You have organic chemistry on BTech CSS. Oh, that's hard. That's some hardcore stuff. So where did you learn where to program if not in uni? So university, like I said, they will say like, okay, they start with C++. You get a teacher, like this old Asian teacher, just like, hey, you should learn C++, right? So you learn a bit C++, and at the same time you have to learn data structures. And this is very hard because you don't know the syntax yet. So no syntax mastery, but you have to do data structure and algorithms. So you learn this programming language, and you have like 6 weeks to master C++, which is a very short time. This is way too short for the homework you need to do. So you learn a bit of programming, but sufficient enough to do some other programming if you are a smart person. So if you are not a smart person, then you're gonna struggle immediately. I don't see statistics here. I think they removed it. Oh, you can find the complete course overview in the study guide. Oh, I see. Aha. Oh, it's probably this one, discrete math and calculus. They probably changed it. No, we had it in the first year. This is a very much waste of our time. I think that this was the 180 in how many weeks? It doesn't say, but it's probably like 6 weeks. Crazy. I don't see it though. Are you learning machine learning nowadays? Ethics? Oh, something that you have not noticed. They haven't mentioned a course to how to apply to jobs. So you don't learn after you have a bachelor how to apply to jobs. Let me see. Academic writing for computer science. Oh, here. Oh, it's constraint, so you don't have to do it, which is crazy because I think that's one of the best things. We get our own choice, C++ or Python. Oh, that's awesome. You don't get a choice in here. You don't get a choice. It's C++. That's it. Let me see. Yeah, it's from this asshole. Sorry, this was my old teacher, right? This asshole. So you learn unnecessary things. You learn vectors. We don't use vectors in almost any other language than C++. It's a very specific stuff. So this is week one. This is week one. You learn data types, operators, type conversion, and external statements. Then you learn these ones. Then you learn these ones, and then you have like 6 weeks. And in these 6 weeks, you also have to do assignments. So that's why I said learn C++ now. Learn C++ like before you go to school. At least the syntax. You don't have to like master, right? Learn the syntax. And learn how to read documentation. I'm not sure if you are doing that, Gonzalo, but you need to know how to read documentation because um, school will go crazy if you're gonna be like do things with AI. So don't get you know crazy about that. Yeah, but only do that if you finish boot.dev. To be honest, right? Like don't go immediately go C++. So so hopefully that was I'm happy, Savan, that you get the opportunity for Python because you can solve something in very little of code. And C++, you need maybe twice or like one and a half more, like two and a half more, just to get the same result done. So that's why Python is very powerful, especially when you do some data structure algorithms. Also, this asshole here, this is his own book. So in the university, it is allowed to sell your own book, and this is a mandatory book. I just want to say that again. This guy is a teacher selling his own book in a university that is mandatory. What if that pushes the read documentation I did from Python and Go? Amazing. Amazing. That's a very good skill to have. Yeah, peak business. I think it's massive fraud. Let me see. Oh, I want to say he didn't create this book. He is an affiliate. So an affiliate, he gets a part of the money. Right? Oh, bro, don't get discouraged about View University. I was older. Like I said, I was older when I started. I started like at 28. So I'm very. You develop yourself as a person, and you don't get like life develops you instead of school at that point, and then you have like a bad manager, right? A bad manager effect. It's not them, it's me. I just want to say that it's me. It's not the program is fine. It's do it. Don't let me discourage you. But what I do want to strongly advise, go to do your stuff. Do go apply to jobs. You here, apply to jobs. Even if you get rejected 100 times, the 100th the first time you go in and you say like, hey man, you know, just try it. I'm discussing about Fu University. Big business. Yeah, he's an affiliate, this asshole. And it's not even good. Like they learn you this stuff, okay? So just not having the book, already see the content. You just go to ChatGPT, right? Let me see if I can copy. Like you can even see the content. You do this. All right, I guess in the end of the day, I will be on do the extra push for tiny jobs. Don't give up, right? You're here, they see you're young, they'll be like, nah, we don't feel like that, right? Don't give up. And maybe even go to like Upwork, you know, kind of stuff. Try to get a back end project going on. Just try to get something going on and then apply. So you have then some proof of experience, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't work in India this way. Oh man, when I see these programs of India, I was like, how are they so fucking smart? I'm guys. I just want to mention that I am not smart. I am. Um, I've seen people solving stuff that I just like even students. I was like, I do not even know where to begin with. I've seen people do that, but that's because they already did it. Okay, most of them they already did it. And what I learned is that if you want to get ahead of the curve, you should do things that like I'm doing. You're gonna go to the curriculum. You're gonna spit out everything. You're gonna research for like a full month, right? You're gonna see, okay, I need to learn this. You're gonna make like a master plan, right? So when the time comes, you already have a study plan, right? And you're gonna go, and you already know some stuff. So you're ahead of the curve. That is something you should do. Now, I'm not sure if this works in India, to be honest, but in Europe, this does work. I see people from India. I don't know. They're like kids from 6, 7, 8 year olds, and they're already doing this stuff. God damn it! I look up to them, to be honest. Yes, well, now you had the opportunity to be exposed to it. So yeah, hopefully you got like I gave you a lot of info. Hopefully you apply it, right? Because now we're talking only practical stuff, right? We're just talking about it. No, you should do it, right? You see this, the curriculum. All right, these ones. This one is the essentials. This is syntax based. Syntax. This is auto syntax. This is syntax. Now here starts the real application. And also see how the exam grade is. Programming assignments counts 35%. So if you fuck one up, no problem. Right? And there have to be 5.5 on average of these two. Oh, students with an overall grade of 5.5 can raise their total grade by bonus 1 point by timely completing of the exercises of the interactive book. Okay, so don't go for 5.5 because that means you have to finish the book, and the book it has like 200 exercises. They got Python for first grade from 2025. Even I'm surprised. Yeah, because Python is gonna be a lot with LLMs. It's gonna be very easy to program with, and it's just great. Grades count. You should only put grades on your resume if and only if they are cum laude. So like GPA 3.5, like GPA 3.5 plus, and in the Netherlands that means 7.5 of grade, 7.5. So this is like the USA grading, GPA USA. This is grading the USA, and then the Netherlands is this. Okay. Then else don't is cum laude awarded? Absolutely not. In Europe, no. If you want to work at Phang at a position, yes. But like I said, they are aware that students doesn't mean good employee. Now, some countries are not at that curve yet, but Europe is aware of this. So cum laude is not worth it. They even have like extracurricular, whatever, programs that you can do extra stuff. Don't do this. Waste of time. Get a job. Get a fucking job as fast as possible. And be prepared that you are gonna be different than other students. When some students are like drinking, ha 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 ha, you're earning money, right? You can chill with them on Sundays. You don't have to chill on them on Thursdays, right? I want you to be exposed to like making money first. Don't go to school first. This costs money. This costs money. This is a money sink, right? You get a fucking job. Yes. So by the way, if you're coming to the Netherlands, how are you gonna do with housing? We have a housing crisis. You know that, right? We have a housing crisis. You should do your research. Make sure, like I'm not sure when you're gonna study. Are you gonna study the upcoming year, like in September, or no? I've just, I'm so happy for you, bro. Bro, I'm so happy for you. That is a very good decision of you. They got Python from the first grade. I wish I got Python in the first grade. My life would have been significantly different. Oh, that's amazing. King's Day is tonight, bro. Tonight, King's Night and King's Day. Please enjoy your stay, bro. That's amazing. Just enjoy it, you know? Just enjoy it. Enjoy the party. And you're gonna study in September? Okay. Bro, if you apply what I'm saying, you're gonna have a fun time, and your girlfriend is gonna also have a fun time because she have a lot of money on the table. Okay? You're gonna have a fun time. You can go out to eat every weekend, if you're gonna work like on this job, after you did some homework, obviously, because you need to do homework on the weekends. Right? Yeah, bro. Apply it, and you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But I did other stuff before I was studying computer science. I did a lot of stuff. I did not like I did drawing, like I did bowling, I did dog training, I did fencing, I did a lot of things. And why did I do that? Well, because most people don't actually know what they want, and I was one of those people, right? Now I know what I want, and this is what I want. I want to make 687 years. It's very simple. I don't care about jobs. I'm just gonna be honest. I don't care about school. I don't care about jobs. I care what they do for me. I don't I don't care about your enterprise. It's fun though. It's fun. But okay, please don't be don't be like me. Like I have a specific goal on this channel, right? I want to make 600 in 7 years. So like if you want to have a job in the Netherlands and your girlfriend is also earning money, right? I'm doing bachelor's online. I have to go to uni just for exams and hackathons. Okay, so um, at our university, it's like they don't like remote. They don't like remote. So they like hybrid though. They like hybrid. They say like, okay, 2 days, 2 days home, and 3 days, 3 days office, right? Like or school. Even schools do this. Even school do this. Hackathons are fun and you learn a lot of stuff, but they don't get you a job. Let me see. I wish I wish I could do my bachelor's online. Well, you kind of can. You can get away with it in the Netherlands. I'm just gonna be honest. You can get away with it. But there's some days, like certain exams or certain stuff. I will tell you an example. So in my first year of grab theory, it's called. So grab theory is basically like a node to another node with direction or no direction. It really depends, right? But this is with the direction, and there's certain theory around it, right? So one of the things that that is really weird is that you when the exam comes, you have to read the fine print, and you have to read it well, because if you go to exam and don't read it, they can invalidate your exam. Even if you make the perfect exam, you didn't do anything wrong, those kinds of stuff, you need to do this. Offline is hard. You have to maintain 75% attendance. Yeah, don't do that. How do you know about this? Is there a tech community where you can hear about events or hackathons? I would love to hear more of the type of leads you give me or hear more people more experience. Okay, so what you do is you go to Phil University. No, as a matter of fact, I think I'm not in contact with it anymore, but even in Meetup, I think they have hackathons. Let me see. Hackathon. I think they have it. Gen AI hacks for founders and attendees. I'm not sure. No, this is in Germany. Pie ladies. Okay, that's for ladies. Okay, they don't have it currently, but there are a lot of you should go. There are certain places in school where you can apply to hackathons. I never did it though. 75% attendance is absolutely brutal, to be honest. That's brutal. By the way, I'm gonna talk about what we did yesterday. So yesterday, You probably remember Sapam. You probably remember this. So this is what we did yesterday. We had a prototype, right? We had a prototype here, and then we made the final. So this is designing. You don't learn designing in computer science, by the way. This is a skill that I do encourage you to learn. You don't have to, but I do encourage that because you never know what's gonna happen, right? And then we made this design, right? And I presented this today at the CEO where I applied to, and he really loved this. So that was very good. Um, yeah, and I really like this one. So let me show you the video. What is actually like? I didn't program it because I had no time for that. Let me see. You can create a GDSC. I'm not sure what it means, but probably it means like a community yourself or something. Where is this? A second. So last time we had this. So this is going to be our main landing page, right? Now, did we do this? Well, at the front end position that I applied to. Oh, you haven't seen the full version, right, Sapam? We'll show it soon. The position I applied to, they ask for front end because that is what I'm good at, front end, and they ask with UX UI experience. I have both, so I can apply to this, right? So I made a use case that is going to be this one. So let me play it down. Basically, you have a landing page, most important stuff, history, and this is going to be a fixed scroll, right? Agenda. Google Developer Student Club, or you have to take perms from Google and form a club. Oh I heard about this. Yeah, oh that's a while ago. We also we made this site live actually, so that was a pretty good site. So yeah, that was pretty good. So because I'm a bit relaxed now, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna learn some app write. So if you don't know what app write is, it's a back end, a backend as a software. So you have heard software like you heard SaaS. You probably heard a lot. Right? You know what SaaS is, right? SaaS service, software as a service. But you also have vast definition, backend as a service. Good question. So I haven't heard about the second interview round yet, but seeing how he was impressed, I think there will be a second interview round. So we'll see. Um, for me, the most important part is that I start applying until I have something. I don't marry I don't I don't marry a job, right? Marry a job. I hate to say that. I don't marry that. So what is backend as a software? Well, I don't know backend. So backend is for me um, logic, is for me database and other surfaces running. I don't do this. Like um, Gonzalo said, he's a backend developer. I don't do this. I am a front end developer. Right? I'm a front end developer. So I basically do UI, cookie management. Um, I've like so, more things. Let me think. We do state management, responsiveness, right? But backend as a service is basically you're doing this logic like it's some kind of dashboard. Right? You have a dashboard and you can apply logic. Now, why would you do this? When would you do this? Well, you would do this in mobile development. So one of these things you can has this is for example Superbase, AppWrite, Firebase. These are backends as a service. This one costs the most money. This is the most convenient. This is the most convenient for mobile development. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna do some.
Alright then, my friends. So in this course, we're going to
We're gonna do this.
Take a look at AppWrite, which is a backend as a service platform that provides a whole bunch of different services that we can use in our own application.
So what we're doing, we are going to learn AppWrite only. Right? It's AppWrite database only. Let me see. Let me see. Complete tutorial. AppWrite. Yeah, we're gonna do AppWrite database only. Okay. Alicio, thank you so much. Oh, I already did the interview, bro. The interview went well. I think I'm gonna get to the second interview, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we're gonna do AppWrite. So I'm gonna show you the website. So AppWrite, backend as a service. Um, you can add authentication, databases, functions, storage, messaging, real-time stuff. It's like you're making a backend, but you can just do it on a dashboard. That's basically what we're learning. Now, why are we learning that? Because you always, I'm someone that is going to be and like I don't want to say entrepreneur. I'm gonna start businesses, right? So I need to know how to also do backend, but I don't want to invest in my time learning backend for a full year because I already know front end and that took me like quite a while as well. So I want to learn this platform, which is not necessarily free, it really depends, right? But then I can make an app, right? I can make an app, guys. And this app is going to give you more job opportunities. All right. Now, do you get what I'm saying?
Applications like a NoSQL database, authentication, file storage, cloud functions, and real time capabilities, plus some other things as well. And
So if you don't know what these things mean, I'm going to explain it. So authentication basically means if you're going to log in somewhere and you're logged in, right? Like if like you're logged in, then you're going to be sent to the dashboard, right? You're going to be sent to the dashboard or account, right? Or account. But if you're not logged in, right? Then you're not going to be sent there. You're going to say we have login and it's going to be URL like wrong password, right? Something like that, right? Or you're just not going to be logged in. So when you go to a certain route, or let's assume you are at a dashboard, you get a cookie maybe or some other session. And with this cookie a session, the website knows, okay, you're logged in. And in the backend, so backend has a certain route. It says, okay, there's a certain auth, right? Because dashboard is a protected route. Back then, dashboard is a protected route, and then you can only access this then if you have a cookie accession. So that's the first thing. So databases, well, very simple. A database is where you store data. So that could be anything, could be a name, it could be an ID, it could be other things. The fun part is about databases is you can have it multiple ways. You can have relational databases. So this means that data interact with each other to to certain to certain uh, vars and values. It really depends. And um, they also you also have no relational databases. So databases. And non-relational databases are schemas. So schemas you can set up how you want to store data on a database. So let's assume you make like a mockup, and this mockup is going to be like ID, user, name, password. Let's assume you make an account, right? You're trying to make an account on this route, right? Like on a register route, right? And you set a certain mockup in a backend, right? In a backend. And this is going to be saved as JSON format. So if you don't know what JSON format is, you can look it up. But it's a JavaScript syntax for, yeah, for example, for databases, or it's like a notation for that. See you, Gonzalo. See ya. Okay, the next thing what you need to know is storage, so you can store files, right? You can also store files in just a database, but there's a specific environment where you can store files. So store files like MP4s, MP3s, text files, Excel files. So users can upload stuff, right? Or they can make some data, right? They can make some data. Um, so there are a couple of ways to do that. So you can, one of the most enterprise way of doing that. So enterprise, they do following things. So they use HWS or own upload system, or they use maybe like a open source backed something. Like there are multiple ways to store data. Okay, the next thing that you need to know is messaging. So messaging actually goes also to databases. So there's certain stuff. So you can say user one send message, and user two can read message, and you can do all this with SQL, for example, right? You can set up like a um, relational tables, right? So like this X communicates, this one communicates with each other, and it's more complex. You can like message one, message all, those kind of stuff. But basically, what they are saying with messaging is like sockets. So sockets is a unique way of communication that there's like a connection. There's a connection, and in that connection time, you can communicate with each other. It's like back in the day, if you think about the first phones, they were like a gamma phone, and it had a certain line, and that line was then the connection. And real time notification is also like a thread or a handshake. So this is advanced stuff. I'm not gonna explain it like in very basic terms, because I think if you are here and you are doing computer science, you should kind of know this stuff, right? Thread and handshake, and then you can real time receive notifications, right? Real time data changes and those kinds of stuff. So why are we doing this for mobile? Because we have something called React Native. So React Native is a way of programming desktop, Android, iOS, or web browser applications. Okay? So you're creating apps. So that is different from React. I'm not the difference between React and this one, applications, and the other is for the web. You're making like websites and those kinds of stuff, or you're making like back-end services. So this is a skill that I want to have as an entrepreneur or as a business guy because you never know. I have an idea, but I want to access people in a certain way. So I will create, for example, a mobile app, and I can manage this mobile app not knowing backend, but just connect my backend to React Native front end, and I just can go on my way.
I found that all of these services are really intuitive and very easy to work with. Now, for those familiar with Firebase, which is another backend as a service platform, Appright is an alternative.
Let me answer your question. Joining of SQL. So join SQL is a certain command in relational databases. So relational databases, right? But if you mean like how would I say it best? If you mean something else, please let me know.
Alternative to that, but unlike Firebase, Appright is open source and it can also be self-hosted. So you can avoid that vendor lock-in that you would typically get with Firebase.
Some months ago.
Now, we're not going to be self-hosting in this series, but we will be using a free hosted plan, which comes with plenty of room to play around with and some generous limits. And then you can always upgrade as and when your applications scale up and need more resources. So then, in this series, we're going to be focusing on the database service.
So why am I using a tutorial for when I said like you should read documentation? Because this is a service, I don't see the use case of doing that. But for example, when we were learning Next.js, which is a while ago, we read the documentation and we were just trying to do stuff, right? For example, how to use CSS in Next.js, right? This is what we learned.
And we'll also be looking at real-time capabilities of Appright as well when it comes to working with the database. Now, to demonstrate this, we'll be fleshing out a notes app like this using Next.js, which is then able to interact with the Appright database to retrieve data, to save new data to it, and also delete data from it. And notice when we add a new note, we see that appear in the browser in real time. And that's because we've set up a real-time subscription to the database so that whenever the data changes in the database, our app gets notified.
So this you can basically create in the front end. But this is not the goal of the video. The goal of the video is learning how Appright works. So you can create this to-do, right? Add note or add to-do. It's very simple to make. But the most important part is how does Appright work?
Of that change, and we can update the UI to reflect it. Now, although I said we'll be building this with Next.js, I'm going to be keeping the focus squarely on Appright since this is an Appright course. And for that reason, I've already prepped a Next.js starter project for us, which we can then just add the Appright logic to. So you can find that starter project on this GitHub repo right here, which I will leave the link to down below the video. So to download it, just make sure you select the starter project branch.
You can follow along if you want, right? Like I'm not saying that you should or should not. Access the course files. Access the starter project. Let me see. Okay. 7 months ago. Okay. Let's make a application then. So let's go here. We're gonna say Appright. Okay. Open with VS Code. And gonna git clone. I'm not sure if I'm logged in here. Okay. Go to repository not found. Oh yeah, of course. Give me a second. Oh, they do it differently nowadays? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. No, I don't want to paste two lines. I want to copy this line and Oh yeah, okay. Sure. Because I don't have that installed. Give me a second. So, okay. Git clone. I think I can do that like this. I think this should work. Awesome. So we're gonna cd in that. So app write tutorial. And then we are here. We're gonna do npm I. And it's gonna install. Okay, let's continue.
Then you can hit the code button over here to download a zip folder of all of that code. Incidentally, I've also uploaded the code for every single lesson in this course, which you can download in the same way by selecting the lesson branch from the drop down and then downloading a zip folder of that branch. So then, once that folder's downloaded, extract it and open up the contents in VS Code or some other text editor. Alright, so I've done that now, and the first thing I want to do is quickly install any project dependencies. We can do that by opening up the terminal, making sure you're in the root directory of the project, and then just typing npm install and press enter. Now while that's going on,
We
I
already
just want
did
to give
that. So
you a quick rundown of this starter project so you've got a basic understanding of how this application is going to work, and then we'll get right into setting up a new AppWrite database. So first of all then, we have the source folder, which is where all the source files are kept, and in there we've got the app folder, and then in here we've got a layout file, and inside that layout all we do is add a link to material icons so we can use icons in this project, and then we have a body tag right here which outputs the children. So all the page content is going to go inside here. Okay, so after that we also have a page.csx file, and inside that we just have this single component, and we have a header at the top of that component and two components within it, the note list and also a new note
don't remember the syntax. This is what you learn if you want to learn React. So
form. Now both of those components are inside this components folder right here. So the note list is to output all of the notes that we create, and the new note form is to create new notes. So let's have a look at the
using TypeScript. Okay.
note list component first of all. And you can see right here, we basically just take these notes in as a prop, initial notes, and we
Let me read it for a second. Initial notes. Initial note is a note array, but I don't see the note array. Note ID is a string. Okay, sure. And then notes maps um, with the node ID. I'm not sure why it's doing this. I don't think you need this, but we'll see. Okay.
basically just take these notes
Handle delete async node ID string. Okay, we don't have that set yet, so
in as a prop, initial notes, and we cycle through those in the template using the map method, and we output an li tag.
I wasn't explaining. I was thinking what I should done. So I'm gonna explain. So basically, React is a declarative language. This means that you are going to store data somewhere, store a valuable value somewhere, and to use it later on. So here it's saying, this is TypeScript by the way, this is a structure of how the node should look like. And the node is then an array. So they're saying, okay, expect that initial node is going to be an array. Here it says also the nodes that we are going to work with also should be an array. Then it says the ID that we're going to handle in a function called handle delete, which is an asynchronous function, is going to be a string. So it's going to be a character of string. If it's anything else, like if it's a number or if it's a boolean, this is not going to work. TypeScript is going to say not a string. Here, what's happening here is that you are dynamically creating the same instance of something. So here we are mapping over an HTML syntax which has a unique ID and that has some content. So if you write a certain content, right, I'm gonna show you. If you write a certain content here, it's gonna add. No, it probably doesn't work yet. That's okay. And the reason why it doesn't work yet, because it doesn't have the add nodes, not yet. But this is how it's gonna look like. It's gonna be like nodes.content, and the node.content is basically we are using this argument to mention a certain variable. Okay, see ya. Bye. Thank you for stopping by. So this is a way how React handles. It's like a loop. You're looping over how many. If there's 5 IDs, you will get 5 instances of this. That's what's happening here.
For each note. So all we're doing is just putting out a list.
Oh, and don't forget is that on top it says use client. This lets nextjs, because it's a nextjs application, it let it know is that okay, we are using client side stuff. Right? Let me what am I doing here? Am I in the right application? Let me see. It's going to be app or page, and it's going to be initial nodes. It's going to be nodes. Okay, let's go to the video. I think here's the videos here. Okay.
List of the different notes that we have. Okay. So I said we received that as a prop, and back in the page component, we can see we have the initial notes defined right here, which is
Okay, so here it's defined. Notice defined as an empty array. Right? You can see it here.
just an empty array to begin with, but later on we'll be fetching those notes from the
Don't worry if you don't understand anything. That doesn't matter. It matters is can you work with not understanding everything.
database and passing those in as a prop. Okay, so the other component is the new note form, and inside here we have some state, content, and set content, and that is hooked up to a text area inside a form, so that whenever we change the value in this text area when we type, then it's going to update the state to match that. So we're trying.
So when you handle submit, so basically when I fill something in here and I add a note, because that is here, you click the add a note, then it fires this function that should be defined, which is not defined yet. It should actually display on the screen, but it's not handled yet. It's not set properly yet.
Tracking what a user types in the content state. Now we attach a submit handler to this form, which fires this function, and inside this function is where we're going to be adding new notes to the database later on. All right, so I think that's pretty much it. We do also have some global styles right here, which I've prepped just to make it look a bit better in the browser. And we have also down here this types.d.ts file. This is where we create a custom interface, which is called notes. And this is kind of the data we'll be working with, which has.
If you learn TypeScript, then you learn this. Don't worry about this. It's basically saying like, hey, if ID is not a string, you cannot compile your program. That's basically what it's saying.
It has 3 properties: an ID, created at, and content. So we're going to be working with that custom data type later on in the course as well. All right, so now let's run this application so we can see what it looks like in a browser to begin with. To do that, open up a terminal, make sure you're in the correct directory, and just type npm run dev and hit enter. That's going to spin up a local dev server on port 3000 for us, and we can view the application now at this address in the browser. So this is what it looks like in a browser, just a title, then this text area and the button at the bottom. We can add a note if we want to, but it's not going to do anything because it's not hooked up yet. Alright then, so the next thing we need to do is set up a new AppWrite database, and to do that you need to go to appwrite.io and sign up for a free account. You should see a sign up link somewhere up here instead of this button. Once you've done that, you can go to the console to create a new AppWrite project. But before we do that, very quickly, you can see the pricing over here. So we're signing up for a free plan, which is completely free, and it comes with some very generous limits right here. So for this tutorial and for small personal projects, it's going to be absolutely fine to play around with. If you
Again, I want to mention only learn AppWrite if you want to make mobile applications. If you want to make a service as a software, right? Software as a service. Don't learn this if you don't do that. I am learning how to make a mobile app and ship it. That is what I'm doing here. Right? I'm practical. This is not school stuff. If you want to go to school, that's okay. But you don't learn these things in school. School learns you computer science related fields, which is totally fine, and some programming. But this is practical stuff. So I just want to mention that if you come here in this channel, that we're doing practical stuff.
do want to upgrade, then it's going to be $15 a month to go to Pro, which is quite nice. All right then. So if you click on this button once you've signed up to go to your console, this is where you're going to manage all of your different projects that you create with AppWrite. I've already created one, but I'm going to create a new one right now for this tutorial series. So let's give this a name. I'm going to call it Notes App Ninja. All right, so then we get a project ID automatically assigned to it. You can, if you want to, edit this by clicking it and giving it a different ID. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to click on next. You can choose your region. I'm going to click on create. That's just going to take a second. And then now we can see we've got this new Notes app Ninja.
So what I'm gonna focus on later, we're learning AppWrite right now, but later on we're gonna do React Native. Now why am I gonna use React Native? Because we can deploy an Apple and an Android app, also Flutter. Right? We can also use Flutter to make an app for Apple and Android.
Project up and running. So we have access to these different services, auth, databases, functions, messaging, and storage. What I'm going to do is go to databases because we want to set up a new database. So click on this create database.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now, and this is my way of learning. You don't have to do this. I'm gonna set a whiteboard, and I'm gonna name this AppWrite. Okay. So let me take a screenshot of the logo or something, whatever. Let me see. AppWrite, whatever. So I know what it is. I will just put it here. Let me make it very small, something like that. And so we have a couple of things going on, right? So let me do this. So we have like databases, and we're gonna learn how it works. We're gonna try to track and see the relationships between these apps communicating. That is what we're doing here. So the next one was like messaging, right? Messaging. Uh, we also had real time, real time. All right. What is all the things that we had? Let me see. Um, Databases, auth, storage. Okay, auth and storage. We're not gonna do functions for now. Where I have it? Auth. Okay, and we wanna have storage. Awesome. Let's go back.
Thing right here. Give the database a name. I'm going to call it Notes App, and also a database ID. I'm going to say Notes App, like so. And I'm going to create this.
I think this is going to be important, so I'm going to write it down. So on the DB, you will have like I'm gonna write it on top. So name, DB and ID DB. So I'm going to put it on top because this is just important info. It's just not an extension of the DB itself. Okay, great. Next.
All right. So we have a database and we're now inside that database. You can see right here, Notes app. If we click on the back button, this lists all of the databases. So this one right here is the one we just created. I'm going to click on it to go into it again. And now within the database, we can...
And remember, this is not an SQL database. This is a NoSQL database, okay? So NoSQL database, you're making schematics. So if you want to learn that, you're going to learn MongoDB and Mongoose. These are no SQL databases, okay? I want to mention that.
create a new collection. So this is a NoSQL database.
So
And
a new collection, that is basically a part of how should I mention this? How you're gonna scheme your your data. So if you have like a certain name, address, and those kinds of stuff, you can say this is how I want my data to be stored.
NoSQL databases typically work with collections of documents, where documents are very much like objects in JavaScript.
So you have it here, right? So let's write that down. It has collections, collections, I'm gonna make it smaller, and a collections basically has, gonna write it down, collections has documents. And documents are basically put down by schemas. The schema is how it looks. Let me make it smaller. You're gonna see later. Don't worry about it now. Okay, let me change colors. No, I just only want this. Yeah. Okay, awesome. Let me put this in a different color. Okay. And usually this right here is JSON. So this is JSON format. So how am I able to translate this? How do I know this? I don't know any backend. How do I know this? Because I went to school and school taught me about databases. So that's basically it. I don't know how it works under the I know how it works under the hood, but the practical stuff I don't know yet.
Where they have key and value pairs. So what I'm going to do is create a new collection, and this collection is going to be called Notes because we're going to be storing note documents inside this collection. Now I'm going to click on that edit button to edit the collection ID, and I'm going to call this Notes. It can auto-generate one for you if you prefer. However, I'm going to keep this nice and short so that later on it's easy to remember in the code. Alright, so I'm going to create this, and now we're automatically put inside that collection. What I'm going to do is go to settings. Oh, first of all, by the way, you can see right here it says documents, and we currently have no documents in here. So what we can...
Did I write it down? Let me see. Did I write it down right? Yeah.
do is create the attributes for document objects or document, rather note documents. So for example, every document is going to have a property called content, right? So the key is going to be called content. The size can be how many characters. We'll just say 255. And then you can add a default value for this. It's going to be null in our case. It's going to be required as well. And then we'll create this. All right, so that is the attribute that documents in this collection must have. We can create documents right here if we want to. We're not going to do that. We're going to create them programmatically from our application later on. But lastly, I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to scroll down right here to permissions, and I'm going to add a role and go to all guests to say that any guest can create, read and delete documents in this database. We're not going to be working with updates in this series, but if you want to, you can click this as well. All right,
So
so
if you don't know what this is CRUD, CRUD. Um, you do this when you're going to create your first front end, back end, or full stack application. It's a very vital part of web development to make. So how you gonna create a how you can create data, how you're gonna read data, um, and send it back to your web page, for example, how to update data. So let's assume you have an email, but you want to change your email, that's updating and deleting. For example, if you want to delete a certain image, then you can do that, and it does that. And the way it does it with API endpoints. So this is an entirely different course for API endpoints. It's not going to talk about it. So
I'm going to press update. You can manage your permissions differently once you get a hang of app-right databases and probably authentication as well. But for the sake of this series, we're just going to allow any guest to create, read, and delete new documents. All right, so that is pretty much it, I think, for creating this database. Let's go back over here to where the database is listed. All right then, my friends, so now we have a starter project up and running and also an AppWrite database ready to work with. In the next lesson, we'll be installing the AppWrite SDK into the application and using that to connect to this new database.
awesome. So we're not gonna do that now because we're gonna end our live stream because it's 3 hours in. But next upcoming Saturday or weekend, we're gonna continue with this series. So yeah, and the reason why we're gonna do that series in the upcoming week is because I'm gonna show you why. It's because we are learning we are learning for interviews. So that's why. This is what we do all week, and on Saturdays we'll relax and we'll learn little bit about the business stuff. So yeah, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment if you want to see me make 607 years, and I will see you on to the next one. Thank you so much for watching. I had a great time. Hopefully you learned a lot of stuff, and yeah, thank you everyone for coming. Let's do this. Okay, later.